My guess is most of you won't be shocked to see another example of Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary for Donald Trump, being bad at her job. We're pretty familiar with that. We're comfortable with that. We're seeing it multiple times a week. But this really exposes the degree to which even basic questions become a real problem for Karoline Leavitt. Not always because she's bad at her job, or not only because she's bad at her job, but because very often the way she handles questions exposes the way in which she and Trump seemingly are out of the loop as to so many important things that are happening right now. I'm going to play a clip for you here. She was asked about Donald Trump's reaction to the Ukrainian drone strike on Russia. Now, we've already covered, and we all know that this was deeply humiliating to the administration. Despite Donald Trump claiming and attempting to project strength and command respect and others being afraid of him and all of this stuff, Ukraine didn't even tell the United States that they were doing this. And I understand why, because there was no upside. If anything, Donald Trump would blow, he would leak the plan, and it would fail as a result. So we know that this was a deeply humiliating problem for the Trump administration. Here is Karoline Leavitt being asked about the reaction. She has no reaction. Trump has no reaction. All she can say is the reaction is the war must end.
But as for how the president feels about those talks and what took place there, I'll let him speak on that.
What's the president's reaction to that Ukrainian drone attack, stunning drone attack on Russian air bases? I'm sure he saw that. What's his reaction?
Well, look, the reaction is this war needs to come to an end. And this war has been brutal from both sides. Too many people have died. And the president wants this war to end at the negotiating table. And he's made that very clear to both leaders, both publicly and privately.
Now, there's two problems with this. Number one, there's a translation here, which is Trump has no idea about this thing. Trump was deeply humiliated by this thing. He found out on TV that Ukraine had done this. He doesn't know anything about it. He's just furious that he wasn't kept in the loop because his primary prism through which he analyzes everything is ego and self-centeredness. But there's another issue here because it's another example of this both sides. The war must end. People are dying on both sides. We need the violence to stop. But there is an invader in this story, and there is an invadee. The invader here is Russia. The aggressor is Russia. The invadee is Ukraine. And not only does the Trump administration often play the both sides game with it, which is they go, both sides have lost a lot of people. Sometimes Trump has actually said the war is a result of what Ukraine did. Ukraine started this war. Zelensky's responsible for Putin invading. And so this answer not only exposes how clueless the administration is about what's taking place, but it also exposes that they still are just getting the basic facts wrong and are still deferring to Russia relatively compared to what the facts on the ground actually are. Now, it didn't stop here. A follow-up question was asked about this potential phone call between Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi. This is, remember, it was going to be 90 deals in 90 days, and then ultimately it became 0 deals in 115 days. And we're being told, gosh darn it, really soon we might have one deal if we're lucky. Here is Karoline Leavitt asked about this phone call that has become the subject of much discussion.
President Trump has talked about wanting to meet with President Xi for a long time. Kevin Hassett over the weekend previewed a possible conversation between the two of them, including possibly this week. Has that call been scheduled, and what is the president hoping to get out of that call with President Xi?
Well, sure. She asked about the potential call with President Xi. I can confirm that the two leaders will likely talk this week.
Will likely. I'm going to talk about that phrase, will likely.
And as always, when there are foreign leader calls, we will provide a readout of those calls. So we'll see you guys later.
Okay. So the use of will likely is a very important linguistic phenomenon here that is really carrying a lot of weight. Will likely says nothing about whether a call has been scheduled. Will likely says nothing about whether a call will happen. Will likely says nothing about whether President Xi is even eager to talk to Trump to sort out a trade deal, as Trump and Bessent and everybody is saying China is desperate to do. It's a very firm maybe, and it unravels into borderline satire, right? I mean, it's possible that at some point it might be discussed whether to consider the possibility of scheduling a potential phone call between Trump and Xi, possibly, maybe. So this is really not foreign policy. This is like diplomatic Mad Libs or something like that. And it shows that the entire tariff operation is completely hollow and flaccid. We were told every country is going to be so eager to come to the table and negotiate because we're big and we're strong and we're alpha, and Trump's very long with his golf game, as he said yesterday. And who wouldn't want to come to the table? And yet, none of it is actually happening. None of it is happening. And we have zero deals right now. They're not prepared. They don't have answers. They've got someone on camera trying to explain the whole thing who is not even halfway competent. And if this is what America First looks like, nobody wanting to come to the table to negotiate, China kind of going, we're not really in a rush. I mean, all right, do the tariffs if you want. Meanwhile, we'll make deals with other Asian countries and European countries and African countries as Trump twiddles his thumb, is missing for 3 days, and posts to Truth Central, I guess like this with his phone. If this is America First, it's pretty pathetic. And it didn't get any better when Karoline Leavitt went on Fox News. I've been using Graza olive oil for years, and I am super excited that Graza is now a sponsor of the show. Graza olive oil is always fresh. It's never blended. They use one olive from one region in Spain, no mysterious blends. It's a traceable and fresher product. And the packaging is super practical. None of these messy, drippy spouts. Graza oils come in easy to use squeeze and spray bottles. They've got 3 types, super simple. Frizzle for high smoke point cooking, sizzle for everyday cooking, and drizzle, which is more for garnishes and dressings. I've been using Graza oil in my house for years. I love everything about it, and my audience gets 10% off the trio, which comes with all 3 of the varieties that they offer in a squeezy bottle. So you are all set for every style of cooking. Go to graza.co and use the code PACMAN. The link is in the description.